Live if nobody can hear me. It's a day. It's definitely a day. I'm sorry. Apparently I forgot the puppy to potties. Or potty. My poor dogs. I forgot to take them out after they ate dinner. It's been one of those days. My poor puppies. All right. Lean the other way. There we go. All right. I feel bad for my puppies right now. I'm a bad mommy, aren't I, baby girl? Hi, sweet girl. I know. Mommy forgot. Bad mommy. Okay. Oh, here comes the other one to give me the evil eye, too. Okay. I am just getting home. I have been oot and a boot today. Took off literally as soon as I was done with today's live earlier. And I am just now getting home from that. So please do forgive me. Oof. Not that anybody's watching and listening yet. All right. Do have some ideas what I wanted to talk about today. Trying to figure out how to organize myself. Throw the chocolate away. Well, not away, but put it away. All right. Click. Hey, battery's still in good shape. Okay. Put the deck of cards. This stuff away. So, I'm actually going to move that here. Right. So, subject for today, for the moment, is the intersections of witchcraft and yoga. Because, well, as we all know, I have dubbed myself a yoga witch. I actually really love this, but there are a fair amount of overlaps because many yogis are concerned with, the health, I guess, of the overall world. The earth. There we go. That's one way of putting it. Trying to make sure that my messenger and stuff doesn't make a whole lot of noise. And there it goes anyway. But so there is the commonality of being concerned with the earth, being concerned with humanity in general, the non-harming happens to be the word's common theme is what's coming to mind here, but it's not the right word. But considering the Wiccan read, it tends to be shortened to harm none. Hey, Ash. But the stanzas that I remember the best, mind you, I have not been Wiccan in many, many years, but 8 words the Wiccan read fulfill, and ye harm none, do what ye will, which usually gets figured out as harm no living being with thought, word, or deed. Okay? Harm none. Yoga has ahimsa, which is non-harming, which is also why many yogis are vegetarian or vegan, because they translate that ahimsa, non-harming, to also not harming animals to eat them. So there is one very big overlap between paganism, witchcraft, and yoga. I meant to make a cup of coffee, but that's okay too. So that is one way that they both overlap. So bear with me. I am going to do some copy pasta eating. Hi, I'm going to share a freaking link with myself here. My brain is not happy right now. So, I actually found a New York Times article, which, oh, that was brilliant, so we're going to go clickety clack. Don't talk back. No. Okay, there's that one. And Yoga Journal, which is another favorite resource of mine, also has an article. An article. That's not the word I want, but whatever. My brain is definitely not firing on all syllables today. So now we're going to grab this, put it over to where I can actually see it maybe. Tap, scroll, tap. Hopefully it'll come up. Blah, blah, ha, ha. So the New York Times article is entitled, "When Did Everybody Become a Witch?" Witch parties, witch protests, and a bevy of new books. Looking to see when this article was written. Oh, look, this article is 5 years old. But you know, witchiness has been gaining popularity in recent years. Big surprise. Because the whole concept of healing the earth and self-care, self-love, have been becoming a whole lot more popular. And oh, look, it says right there, published 2019, die. Also, in recent years, oh, if you want me to do the research on the data, I can bring up the census data. I want to say it's starting with the millennials. It may be Gen Z, but millennials and Gen Z have been rapidly leaving the church. Because, you know, hello, who wants to go to church with a bunch of pedophiles? I mean, ever since the Catholic Church scandal, that's what I'm looking for, broke, when, you know, everybody figured out that the Roman Catholic Church was just moving around the priests that were molesting children in the church, more and more churchgoers have said, yeah, no, we're going to pass. And even more Protestant churches are seeing fewer and fewer butts in pews. And I honestly feel that kind of is because of the Catholics. That's just my thoughts. And then there's the fact that you look at the world today and people are going, how can a truly caring God that we are told loves us, let this shit happen. So people are turning away from the church and turning more and more towards nature-based religions because you can't see, touch, feel God, but you can literally go outside and hug a tree. So I can see the logic here. And then this is the article. What witches and yoga have in common. I was reading this article earlier, and the lady who wrote it says that when she was a teenager, she herself dabbled in witchcraft, like many young girls do. Because especially young girls, we find that divinity not only in ourselves that witchcraft has, because the goddess, but it's powerful and it's empowering for a young woman because, and we're going to go back to the Christian church, so much of the Christian church has taken the divine feminine out to uplift and empower the patriarchy. And women are told, sit down, shut up, know your place. And today's woman is saying, fuck you. I do know my place. And it is right next to the men. I have a right to, speak and be heard. I have a right to defend myself and be my own person. And, but hey, what do I know? That was not what I meant to do. Tapped the wrong thing. So taking the glasses off so I can actually see what I'm doing here. So this article, it's not an article. What am I? It is an article. Okay. I swear that's not the right word, but it must be. Okay. As girls growing up in a world of patriarchy and other damaging power structures, we were claiming connection to our own power before we lost it. God, so true. And here's another quote. In her memoir, Initiated Memoir of a Witch, Amanda Yates Garcia, aka the Oracle of LA, calls attention to this seeking and questioning. Quote, left to their own devices, most teenage girls are natural witches. That certainly sounded like the author of this article and her cousins. By the time I was an adult, I'd turned instead toward yoga. Here's where we tie them together. There I also found rituals and refuges, ways to connect to spirituality and feel strong, not just in spirit, but in body and mind. I found in yoga a home. But before yoga claimed me, there was a time when I explored the path of a witch. Sound familiar? I'm asking the people who know me. Because that's pretty much how I ended up a yoga witch. Casual social media scroll conjures a world of healing, yoga, and alongside this, witches. The hashtag is very interesting. And considering this article, like I said, was from December 22, I said, yep, my sister's birthday. Interesting. Totally random factoid. Sorry about that. The hashtag witches of Instagram as of December of 22 currently had more than 9 million posts. And Witch Talk at the time, which I'm trying to avoid because there's so much misinformation, has 80 billion views on TikTok. That's scary. Suddenly, there are witches everywhere, sharing financial advice, offering workshops on self-empowerment, leading others in activism, and offering poetry. In many cases, the term witch has been applied to any woman who has chosen an alternative path or practiced earth-based spiritual practices. Hello, furry overlord. I keep getting distracted because I'll close my office door, but I don't dare close it tight because the furry ones will complain. And the furry overlord decided to just come in and curl up by the heater. Witch is a word that it's a very loaded word because many people, especially younger people, and I'm talking, generally under 13, a lot of under 13s will substitute the word witch because they're not allowed to swear and say the word bitch. So, witch might be a moniker for any empowered woman or man. Hey, Steve. Might be an empowered woman or a man or even a non-binary person who taps into their feminine power and wants to channel that power as a healing force in the world. Or it could also just be a person, generally a feminine presenting person, that you don't like or is unliked, disliked, Um the word witch is thrown around as an insult so often, especially by those who don't want to swear. And honestly, that pisses me the fuck off because being a witch is not an insult. It's not a bad thing. It's not an evil thing. But, my messenger started going batshit on my tablet. Sorry. So, contrary to what many books and the big screen would lead you to believe, a witch is quite often someone working to shift power toward the benevolent, often challenging the status quo and those benefiting from it. For eons, witches have been the ones rallying against oppressive systems, including the patriarchy. I'm now envisioning Barbie and Ken. God, that was a good movie, but still. When inherited structures of power and meaning aren't working, there is a longing for different ones. The witch, and this is a direct quote, the witch is the ultimate feminist icon because she is a fully rounded symbol of female oppression and liberation, writes Pam Grossman in Waking the Witch, Reflections on Women, Magic, and Power. Continuing the quote, the fact that the resurgence of feminism and the popularity of the witch are ascending at the same time is no coincidence. The two are reflections of each other. Grossman suggests the way we react to witches may say something about how we react to feminine power. Show me your witches, and I will show you your feelings about women, she says. Yeah, I can agree. Another answer to why now may be under our feet. Witches, like those drawn to yoga, prioritize an individual's connection to intuition and the earth. Says Laura Amazon, I'm thinking is her last name, an author, teacher, and scholar specializing in the goddess traditions. As Mother Earth struggles, we feel renewed urgency in our very selves to help rebalance the harmony needed in nature because we're a part of it. And then we get to my favorite author of the ones mentioned, different techniques, but the same intention. In her book, Yoga for Witches, which is hiding over there, I have a copy of it. Author Sarah Robinson explores the relationship between these seemingly different, but in some ways similar practice paths. Yoga is an embodied spiritual practice, a kind of ritual. Witchcraft Also a spiritual practice that involves intention and focus, but also a practice of creation and connection to spiritual and natural realms and cycles. Okay. Oh, I'm going to actually interject my own here instead of continuing to read because God knows I will just continue reading the article for you. The connection to spiritual and natural realms and cycles. Okay. In witchcraft, we tend to celebrate the moon. We do our full moon rituals, we do our new moon rituals. We celebrate the cycle of the moon. We have our sabbats, which we celebrate the turning of the seasons, the equinoxes, the why is my brain not cooperating with me? But okay, you get what I'm saying. So in yoga, what many people do to start their flow, their practice, is they start with a sun salutation. Sun A, sun B. Okay, there's actually a sun C as well, but most commonly, most people know sun salutation A. That is what I personally start 99% of my flows with. So there is also another common is the moon salutation to start an evening practice with. Are we seeing some similarities here? To go with this, as I was saying, we have the 8 limbs of yoga, which you have your yamas and niyamas, your do's and don'ts. The very first one is ahimsa, non-harming. We can read, harm none. There are a lot of similarities. Come on, Di, keep the brain going. Both yoginis and witches honor unseen energies. Some pagan paths work with the chakras. Yoga very much works with the chakras. I consider the way yoga practices engage with the energetic body, modulating prana through breath work, pranayama, postures, meditations, and intentions. Sankalpa, intention. What is magic? Magic is manipulating the energy around you to focus and focus your will. Because all you need for magic, all you need to practice witchcraft and magic is your intention. Your finger, your intention. That's all you need. The rest of the stuff that I have, my wand, my cauldron, my chalice, my candles, all of that, it's just extraneous stuff. Because, it helps. It's just trappings. You don't need any of it. All you need is what's up here. What do you need for yoga? What's up here? Because it's all intention. Am I making sense here, people? I think I am. And if we look to Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, we read about the siddhis defined as mystical powers that are increased through practice, including clairvoyance and mind-body control. This feels like another word for magic. Let's see, what am I reading here? Okay. Of course, there's an everyday magic to yoga practice as well. To direct energy in yoga, a practitioner might work with postures and breath work. Okay, postures, asana. I personally, because of the fact I'm used to the word asana, I dislike the word postures because it just sounds wrong. Because they're not postures. The poses is a little more accurate, but postures just I hate it. It does not feel right. So, if I say postures and then correct myself, I apologize. But to direct energy in yoga, a practitioner might work with asana and breath work, but also mantras, essentially repeated words or phrases that help center and focus the mind. Okay, mantras are common in magic as well. They're actually fairly common with a lot of people these days, which is another reason to say magic is kind of seeping out into everyday life. With a mantra, you use words to craft, shape, dispel, and repel, much like what people think of as a witch's spell. How many of us have mantras that we use for, all sorts of shit? I have one. I have one that I am eventually going to get tattooed on my arm. Si se puede. Literally translates to yes, we can. That is my personal mantra. Because I swear to God, does not matter what it is, I will survive it. I can do anything. Yes, we can. I can do it. I will make it. Fucking got me through boot camp. The interdisciplinary dialogue between the witch and the yogi draws on intention, voice, embodiment, the hope of healing, and resistance to systems of harm. It's a call for a similar way of being and living. Hmm. So at the beginning of the plague, the author was feeling overwhelmed and isolated and kind of watched all of the local yoga studios close. So felt very much isolated. So went online looking for community. After happening upon several events, virtual events, led by self described witches, she signed up for a virtual full moon ritual on Zoom. Um, Entered a virtual space to find a sold out community of diverse participants from across the world. The leader began by setting an intention for sacred space known as casting the circle. I can see that. I'm mentally trying. I do not personally cast circles normally. I do bubbles around myself when I'm casting, unless I'm actually in my circle. See you later, love. So I trying to imagine casting circle on Zoom, and then she talked about grounding through connection with nature and the rhythm of the seasons before meditation. Makes sense. Um, and the author was then reminded of the way a yoga teacher might set sankalpa or work with mantras to open the practice and shift energy for yoga. So yeah, it does very much mesh and blend. And then towards the end, the high priestess asked to banish what no longer serves you, and um, which kind of made the author think of how often in yoga she would be in class and the teacher would say, release what no longer serves you, what you no longer need as you exhale. This is also a common practice. The techniques are different than what you experience in yoga, but it's, thank you, Warren, it's all the same. Beyond the asana, the breath work, and meditation, so much of yoga is invisible and energy work. What is magic? A yogi is usually someone who is concerned with the wellness of the planet and their themselves in it. And they wish to live their life in service and with intention by considering how they can move into and beyond the body to be in harmony with and help to others. How I've always tried to live, even before I became a witch or found yoga. I have always wanted to live in harmony with the earth and my fellow man. That's just me. So I am loving seeing how these two aspects of my life just seem to be meshing and melding together. It's really, really cool because when I first found myself on the yoga path, I never thought for a second about combining it with my craft. I didn't. I did just never thought about it until literally I was setting up the Patreon for Yoga with Di. And I'm sitting there going, what can I offer at this tier? Well, okay, we'll do this for this one. And the next thing I know, I've said, okay, well, at this tier, I'll give you a tarot reading and maybe a, one-on-one session. Okay, this tier, okay, well, you can have a tarot reading, a one-on-one session, or no, at the first tier, it was a tarot reading and access to the blog, certain blog entries. Well, this tier, okay, you'll get tarot reading, blog entry, and this one you'll get the podcast. Oh, hey, well, how about this one? You get tarot reading. How about access to the full moon ritual and the other stuff? And I'm like, and I stopped and thought, where the hell is this coming from? Why the witchy shit in there? I mean, yeah, I'm doing it anyway, but it has nothing to do with yoga. And then I'm like, yeah, what the hell? I'll leave it. Maybe somebody will be interested. And then, I started doing a little more research. And that's when I found, Yoga Witch, the book. And I started talking to people, and they're like, cool. You're going to include some of the witchy stuff in your yoga? That sounds cool. And I'm finding, more and more interest. And the more I look into it, the more I'm seeing correlations. And it's so much. There's so much more similarity to it than I thought. Dude, I really need to get Kapil into this. Kapil is a friend who I have known online only for more years than I want to think about right now. We'll just leave it at that. I have known him for a very long time, and he happens to be Indian. So he is a very interesting person to talk to, highly intellectual, and he would be kind of interesting to discuss this with. So I'm going to put a pin on that one. I'm going to bounce this idea off of him later. But yes, witchcraft and yoga is a very interesting combination that more people have made than I realized a year ago. So watch this space. We're going to be doing more of it. And I invite you to join me. Well, the two of you that are here tonight, I suspect I know who you are. So, I think that is pretty much it for tonight, since I feel like I'm talking to myself, which I do enough of anyway. Yes, the irony of three men watching a podcast about the divine feminine. Should I take that as a compliment? I'm being compared to Rachel Maddow. I'm going to take that as a compliment. think I'm going to wrap this up for tonight and say I will see you guys tomorrow. We have, yeah, oh, yes. We have Friday tomorrow. God, how is it already Thursday? It's already the end of the month, too. How did that happen? Wasn't my birthday like just yesterday? Okay, not that it was my birthday, it's just the fact that my birthday was the beginning of the month, okay? But seriously, and the beginning of the year, but hey. Um, how is it already the freaking 25th? 5th? Shit, it is. How is it already the 25th of January? Anyway, that is it for tonight. Tomorrow we have our daily draw at, oh shit, full moon too. Oh shit. Oh god. I was supposed to do a full moon live. Fuck my life. That will happen next month. I am putting it in the calendar. Okay. So, daily draw tomorrow, guided meditation tomorrow, yoga Saturday, and then Sunday is day of rest and planning for the week ahead. It's okay, love. Monday, we start the whole thing over again and do all of this shit, the same shit, different day. I think. Well, no, same day, but you know what I mean. Bum bum bum. Yep, yep, yep. Yes. It's all up here. I got people talking to me up here. Okay, I'm answering them. So, moving on. We have I did make that sound, didn't I? Okay. Um, I want to hopefully, and I was actually thinking about doing this possibly tomorrow. I may schedule it, so keep an eye on the socials. I am planning on doing a full moon crystal grid. I just got to get the shit together. And I will hopefully be able to go live while I do it. If I don't do it this month, that will be next month. It'll be tomorrow if I do it. I am so sorry, people. Tomorrow is, like I said, daily draw, meditation, yoga, and that is it. Yes, hopefully, starting next week, I will have somebody here with me to do the podcast again because I really don't like talking to myself. I miss my partner in crime. Anyway, yes, I will see you all tomorrow. I love you. Have a fantabulous, wonderful day. Ah, and as Will Wheaton says, don't be a dick. Spread joy, spread love, spread kindness. And I love you. See ya.